So, hello everybody. Welcome to new session and meeting of Holochain-in-Action. For a while, we didn't release any new recording, but we came back or we come back with a really hot topic and really good news for you if you are looking forward about the hApp and Holochain ecosystem. So right now, a new version of Launcher is released that you can run Holochain application with the hApp library. So you can imagine hApp library like App Store. So it means you can create your app, put in the hApp library, and your friend can install it, and your community can use it peer-to-peer application. It is the topic of this session. We are going to demo the new version of Launcher that GM implemented. So, and then we are going as a community member here, we are going to use it and you will see how the launcher in action, how it is working and how you can use it. That's being said, and also thank you to all the friends from the community that they are here. So that's it. Let's go to Ian to see the story of a launcher. Let's see the menu. Let's see the launcher in action, how it is working, a little bit technical topic, and then we can see some example. Thank you. Ian, please.
Okay, let me let me think for a second. Yes, so we already did a session on the launcher actually, 3 months ago, something like that, in which we explained what was the launcher and how to download it and use it as a primitive way to use Holochain. But this release is the first one actually that starts to enable real life usage of Holochain in your desktop computer. And this is because in the past, the launcher was tied to a Holochain version. So I don't know, launcher 0.3.1 was tied to Holochain 1.21. And if we upgraded the launcher version, we are going to be upgrading the Holochain version. So new Holochain, new versions of the applications are going to delete all data because the hash is updated. It was a big UX problem that was there in the launcher. So this new version, why is it special? Because two things. One is it's supporting multiple Holochain versions. So in the future, when you will upgrade the launcher, you will not lose previous data. And that's basically necessary for anything. And then second is that it comes with the DevHapp as the first prepackaged Holochain application. And the DevHapp is where you publish the applications. When the applications are published, anyone can install them, just as Hedayat was saying, right? The DevHapp, we are using the DevHapp as the primitive version of the App Store or App library, right? So within this context, I think what's most useful is if I show how the launcher looks right now, and then like how the DevHapp looks a bit, and then I think we can go ahead and start installing and playing with each other. So going to do that. Any comments up until now?
I would like to add something. Right now, launcher can be run on any operating system, Windows, Mac, and Linux, but right now it's not working on mobile. PM can promise us for the future version for mobile.
I can say that Tauri, which is the package engine that we are using, is very close to doing iOS and Android support. So yes, it doesn't really depend on us at this point, but we can certainly help them debug and so on. Stay tuned. Cool. So I'm going to share my screen. Oh, this is we don't want to show we right now. So okay. Let me quit this. Okay, you saw nothing. So I'm going to just boot up the Holochain launcher, right? And this is one of the first important differences, right? So the launcher now comes with the latest version of the key store, which means that it comes already with encryption at rest, which means that you need to set a password to unlock all the data that you are storing in your computer, right? So at first run, the launcher is going to ask you to set the password, and be careful not to lose that password, because there is no password recovery mechanism. This is only locally installed in your computer. So remember that password, maybe write it down in some secret paper and then lock that paper up, or I don't know. Whatever you do, this is a really important password, right? So I have already set up the password, so I can just go ahead and enter. Oh, I think I skip a step, which is how can you get this? How can you download it? Sorry about this. So really quickly, if you go to github.com/holochain/launcher, and then you go to releases, you can already see the latest release for the launcher. And here, down here in assets, you can download the appropriate binary for your distribution. So I think right now here, it's useful if any of you don't have the launcher installed, just go ahead and do these instructions as I say them, so that then we can go faster when we end. There are also installation instructions put here in the release. We are going to attach the links in the description of the video so that anyone can just click the link and just go there, right? But just I wanted to set the context of, okay, where did this come from, right? Okay, sorry about that. Coming back. So now I have downloaded the launcher, I have executed it, and now it's prompting me to enter the password. First run, it's going to prompt me to set the password, but I already did that. So I'm going to set the password here. Cool. So now this is the main screen for the launcher, and this is showing me all the applications I have already installed in the different Holochain versions that I'm running, right? So for example, in Holochain 132, I have the DevHapp installed. In 136, I have notebooks. You can largely ignore the version things, right? This is basically the list of applications that you have installed in your computer. And the basic thing that you do with these applications is, well, install them, right? So if I go here, this is going to present me with all the applications I'm able to install. Right now, there are 4, right? So notebooks, elemental chess, snapmail, where these are Holochain applications that are already published. This is like even crazy that I'm talking this way. Like, these are Holochain applications that are already published and anyone can download it with just one click. And here are instructions on how to publish an app, or you could also, mainly if you're a developer, select an application from file system just to do some testing, right? So that's it. If you want to install this application, you click here, and then this new application will be installed on the list of applications. Hedaya, you wanted to say something?
Yes, would you please click on install app for one of them? I would like to add something.
Okay, let's do where?
I think the thing that's kind of cool is that we could do this and actually put in a UID so that we can have our own space instead of having the big public space that most people would have.
That's it. Exactly. It was the thing I would like to mention, that the application is the community based generally. As we always mention, the Holochain is a social technology actually. So the application is there. So would you please also go for advanced? So it means we have a UID it means you can install application with any ID you would like. So you and your friend, you and your community can play together. Your application is not public and your data is not just available for others. Exactly, I wanted to mention that.
Okay, what UID should we use?
Maybe the same as your app ID?
I would suggest let's do the same UI because we are going to be playing with different applications. So let's do, for example, HIA, which is Holochain-in-Action.
Sure.
And now it's the same UID, any applications that we install.
Great, so it is case sensitive.
Yeah. So uppercase HIA.
Okay, that is great. Meanwhile, we are going to install. Would you like also, Guillaume, to go to the menu, admin menu, or would you like to show the people how the other menu, that something like that, and while we are installing with the HIA?
Sure. Just to be clear, everyone here, if you want to come play with us, install where with UID HIA, right? So install app just as I did right now. Okay, yeah, sure. So very briefly, because there is not a lot more that you can do from the launcher. The launcher is supposed to be a really simple way to install the applications, right? So things that you can do are factory reset. Careful with this. It's going to wipe everything related to Holochain that's in your computer. So this is not recommended in 99% of the cases, right? Then you have open logs, which is mainly if you want to report a bug, right? So open logs will bring you to the log file that Holochain is storing, and then you could upload this to the issues that the launcher has in GitHub. That's important if you find any issue. Then we have configuration, which is a couple of things that are basically developer related, right? So the log level, developers will know about this. You can configure the log level that you want for your Holochain binaries, right? And also, this is mainly not for hApp developers, but for core Holochain developers, right? So you could specify also a custom binary path so that I'm developing some new Holochain core feature and I can test it with the launcher this way. That's it for configuration for now, really simple. You can also quit, which is quitting. And then help is really simple as well. You have the about with all the Holochain versions that are supported by this launcher. So right now this launcher supports 127, 131, 132, and 136. And then you have report issue, which brings you to this bug report in the launcher GitHub page, right? This is where we are collecting the issues that any user is having with the launcher. Is that good enough, Hedaya? Like, there's nothing else in the launcher right now.
That is amazing. If somehow people are going to have issue with installation, they are supposed to be wait for a little bit. Maybe, is there anything about kind of topic you would like to mention? If please.
Right. So we are using the main thing there is that for the packaging of the cross-platform binaries, we are using Tauri. Tauri is a really cool engine. If you have heard about Electron, well, Tauri is the Electron competitor written in Rust. The thing is that it's in beta and it's like almost in release candidate and almost stable, but not quite. So there could be some issues with the installation and so on. Report them in the launcher GitHub issues page, and then we are going to triage because this is a big stack, right? So the launcher sits on top of Holochain, of million components of the Holochain team, and then of Tauri, and then so it's difficult to know at what level is the problem. What I would say is just put them in the GitHub issues for the launcher, which is this thing that we showed a second ago, right? Issues here. And we are going to do the triage between which, like to which component should the issues go to. This is everything I would say right now.
Thank you. That's it. So I have already I'm running already the Ver application with hIA. So if anybody else also running this one. Oh.
Okay, we should create a space, right?
Yes, please.
So
by the way, Ver application also, it is the Holochain application that we already talked about it, about the philosophy of Ver and also technically how it implemented. So other video in the Holochain-in-Action channel, you can see if you would like to see what is Ver generally. But right now we are just going to test the launcher using Ver application. That's it.
Eric, we should create first a template. Is how?
No, you shouldn't create a template. The thing that you can do right now, just to be really simple, is click on the little world with a magnifying glass. That takes you to the library.
Ooh.
Okay, and then basically import. You can click on spaces. You can import all of those spaces, but you could pick one, like maybe Earth, the second one. And if you just click on that one, okay, it's done. Even though now go back on the top right.
The top right.
Yeah. Okay, and now you can put yourself on the map, and we should all, anybody who started out here should be able to see that. That space should show up for everybody if you just reload if you click reload.
This library thing is really cool.
So you can put down your location and see, I just showed up there in Ecuador.
Yeah.
You can see behind there, and other people can put their locations in the world just for fun for right now.
Yeah, but I don't know my zodiac sign. Wait.
Well, I don't either, which is why I picked the holo sign.
So this is cool.
Okay, I see that Guillaume showed up there. I don't know who else. Like on mine, I can see it.
Ooh.
How long does it take for the hApp to gossip onto the launcher? Mine's been going for about an hour now, and I still can't install it.
Yeah, same, 40 minutes.
Yeah.
So I would recommend if you quit your launcher and then reload it, you might find that it's instantly there. There's some weird things with that. So give that a quick shot right now. Guillaume has been talking with Matt, and also we've been talking with the Holochain team. There's a big upgrade in Gossip coming really soon. Michael's been working on it. So what's the case is that it's working. Gossip is working. It is eventually consistent. There are some weird use cases when there's not a lot of people on the net right now. And so there's a lot of optimization that needs to happen with this. And a lot of it has to do with which nodes are gossiped or which nodes believe they exist. And so if the Bootstrap server, if you get a node from somebody who was on, who's not on now, you might be trying to gossip with somebody who doesn't exist. So there's some cases that aren't working to make it work, really have a really great user experience, but it is getting there.
Also, just for more information, I can install some hApps, but not other hApps. Like now, everything but Where allows me to install even after restarting the launcher.
Yeah, Where has 2 different DNA, or at least I think it has 4 different zones, so its DNA is a little bigger than others. But if you just quit and restart, try it again, see if it works.
I did, but
Yeah, I just did that too. I can do notebooks and elemental chests so far. It seems to be just working its way through.
Okay, we can, in the meantime, we can go to elemental chests. If everyone can install elemental chests, we can go there.
Sweet.
So yeah, to reiterate the thing that Eric was saying, but with a bit of nuance because I think it's important. The thing about the DevHapp is that it's storing big files in the DHT, right? These gossip issues that we are seeing are not at all important in other applications like in Where or in elemental chess or things like that. If we are not gossiping big files, gossip works really well right now already. Like even without those optimizations Eric was talking about, but it is important to like the UX is not as good as it could be in the DevHapp, and like the DevHapp is the thing that's serving the launcher, so that's what we have. Okay, so everyone, if you want to install Elemental Chess and have the UID the same, HIA, can see if we can install and play some chess. Shane and Harlan, you can install those. That one, right?
Wait, you bet.
Yep, I'm in.
Okay.
I see Victor.
Okay.
Your
Oh
move,
my
Guillaume.
god. Oh my god. So I
Ready to
like the
go?
Scotch.
Oh, takes. Yeah.
I check.
Mm.
I'm too terrified. I'm going to resign. You win. You win. You win. It's okay. Cool. Oh, I'm happy it's working. Shane is first in the ranking.
Wow, how about that? Take that to the bank.
Anyone else would want to share their screen and like drive and have fun with it?
I'm getting an error on mine.
Okay.
It just doesn't let me download anything. It says cannot download. I don't know, maybe that, I'm using the 4.6 version. It says app download failed. Please try again later.
Yep, you just need to wait. You need to wait for Gossip. And try restarting the app and it might help.
Okay. Thanks.
I'll share and try out snapmail.
Cool. Let's do it.
All right. Sure. All right. Can you see that okay?
Yeah.
Okay. So snapmail. We'll go advanced.
Harlan,
Yeah.
just would you please introduce a snapmail to the people that visiting us, please?
Email on Holochain. Anyone like Eric want to go deeper?
Well, Snapmail was a peer-to-peer distributed messaging system that I wrote many, many years ago when I got out of college. And so this is that peer-to-peer distributed email now running on Holochain. It's a total rewrite. And it's not meant in its current incarnation as global email. It's meant as workgroup email. And so originally people who would install it would be like dentist's office, lawyer's office, businesses, people who wanted to do it. And now we can do Snapmail. Oh, did you install it with hIA?
Bet.
Yeah, okay. So now we have a Holochain-in-Action Snapmail email group that we can go and play with.
Okay. Have we got some other people on the hIA snapmail? Because I'll send you an email.
I think you have to put your username right on the bottom right. This is me. I don't know if you have to.
You actually don't have to, and it will show up as
Okay.
untitled. The reason why it's like, so Snapmail was originally and still is packaged as an Electron app. And so in the Electron form, it brings up a little dialogue and forces you to do that. This one, we just threw it together to see how it would work on the launcher without doing any of the modifications that you should do in a launcher context, not in an Electron context, because the Electron context also allows you to switch between different networks and create different networks inside that context. So yeah, it is helpful. You should click on that on the bottom there with the little bottom right with the little marker, Harlan, and update your name to something.
Okay. Now, others, please go and install Snapmail with hIA. So it'll be a little more interesting if we have more than Guillaume and I. Oh, look at that. They're popping up. Thank you. Now, Guillaume, I sent you an email seconds ago. Have you received it? Or a Snapmail, sorry.
Yeah, I sent one to Guillaume as well.
I got some notification that said you have new email. And then I hit a bug. I think it is a bug. I have to talk to Damien about it, in which the screen froze, but in the past restarting fixed it. So I'm trying to do that. No, it doesn't.
Yeah, we noticed some bugs yesterday when we were testing it that have to do probably with the fact that this has really only been tested in the Electron context, not in this site. And so you got that thing where now it's a completely blank screen.
Yeah,
okay.
With a loading bar on the top.
Yeah, he got the exact same thing, but I haven't seen that, so this is good. I'm glad it's replicatable. But so at least there's been a couple messages, and you could see it. Oh, look, I got a message as well.
Interesting. I'm clicking on the subject, but it's not working. Maybe it's because the focus is somehow over here. I was going to try to send a message to everyone but Guillaume with the subject line. Let's talk about
No,
Guillaume.
you have that same thing happening. The page is unresponsive, and so I think this is an actual bug in snapmail in this UI. We don't know why. Something interesting. Okay, it's great to see that it showed up here. Well, there'll be another release that gets published to the DevHapp with a working version of this.
Excellent.
Wow, that is amazing. Oh, so we have been waiting for, I can say, years to see this hApp library and the launcher.
How about notebooks? Notebooks is pretty darn cool.
Oh, yes, let's go. Yes, notebooks. We can also touch some doc sharing like a Google Doc. Let's try a notebook. Who would like to share their screen and try notebooks? Victor, share.
Yes, I can share. Hold on.
Please, Victor, please.
Sure. Okay. So I've done the same Holochain, HIA. Where's the share? There we go. All good?
Yes, I can see your screen. You already installed the application again, yes?
Yes, so I did it with HIA as the UID. And this note. I'll start a note. I'll start a session. Good stuff in here. Oh. Somebody's beating me to it. Okay. Tylo. Right, I see a bunch of people in there. Cool. And what happens if I close this session? Does other people still stay around for that session? No.
No, we get kicked out.
You get kicked out, yeah.
Yeah.
I see. Well, there's a whole bunch of other ones already. Okay. How to grow mushrooms. Can I join that? So we'll see when the commits come in.
It's interesting to me that the commits take a while, Guillaume. This is why I think it might not just be about large size things, because it takes a while for the commit history to show up. Like the live session in this note, it's not there for me anyways yet.
Maybe, yeah.
And I can have many sessions open, I guess. Can I have like in different notes? Doesn't so
like the UI doesn't allow for that right now, but in theory you could, yes.
So otherwise, when I leave it, when I leave a session like that, if I go back, it closes the session also.
If you're the one that initiated the session, it does.
Okay.
Right now. we want to add some smart mechanisms as per, is if the scribe is the one that initiated the session, right? If the scribe closes the session, then there is some renegotiation of who should be the new scribe. The basic role of the scribe is to broadcast all the changes. So everyone sends the changes to the scribe, and the scribe sends the changes to everyone else. Right? We haven't implemented that yet, but there's nothing preventing us to do so in the near future.
Guillaume, would you please, or Eric, a quick introduction about the notebook? Especially, we didn't review a notebook in deep dive technically, just a brief explanation. What is a notebook? What is doing? What the people see right now, please.
Right, yeah, that's interesting that we didn't thought of that, but thanks for that. So Notebooks is a Holochain application that's basically a very simplistic HackMD clone. So it's basically real-time collaborative edition of Markdown notes. That's all the functionality that is there right now. So we are seeing Victor, it's going into this node, it's starting a session, and now anyone that goes to that node and starts and joins the session, as Eric and Shane did just here, can start to edit the session in real time together, right? And this is the first application that has the scene engine that is using the scene engine for the real-time collaboration, right? So we have talked about scene in the past. It was the project that Eric and his son brought forward in the last year. It hasn't been 2 years, right? I think it was last year. So scene is maybe the interesting part here, which is this generic real-time engine in Holochain. So scene could be used for what we are seeing right now, which is Google Docs type of collaboration, but also things like Miro, maybe games, even anything that involves real time, which is a bit awkward to do with only the functionality that Holochain gives you. Scene is this generic infrastructure that allows you to implement applications that do real-time engine with a very little effort. And this is it, really. Like, this is the first primitive versions. We have a lot of ideas on what to add next and what the future of this. An interesting point about notebooks is that every node is its own DHT. So when, and this is a bit for the technical aspect of it, you know that in Holochain, every application has many DHTs, and each DHT is the network. If you're not in the same DHT as anyone else, you won't see each other. Notebooks has a bit of interesting design, which is that every node is its own DHT, which means that if I create a node and then I put some content of it, and no one joins, if I go offline, I was the only one in the network. So right now, there is this weird UX thing that's happening where I go online and I create a node, but I create another DHT. And then if I go offline, no one is going to be able to see the content. So for example, let me demonstrate this. Like, this is like the anti-demo that we were doing, Gary. No, please share the screen, Victor. I was trying to use this, use you as the actual, yeah. So, but the UX. I'm creating a node and I'm putting a bunch of content in it, right? Now I'm going to quit my launcher right now. Okay. Can you please, Victor, close the session and go to the all nodes? You should have bad UX, right? And nothing is there. I did put some content in there, but nothing is there for Victor because I have gone offline, right? I see Shane nodding. So the thing is that Now, if I go online again, don't do anything, Victor, please. Now, I'm going to join the DHT that Victor is in, and I'm going to start gossiping the content of the nodes, right? So with just a refresh, Victor, you should be able to see the content exactly, right? And this is the bit of weird UX that there is right now. We don't have a clear strategy on how to solve that, but it's totally like we can think of patterns to mitigate this kind of experience.
I really appreciate you sharing this, Guillaume, because what this does is it highlights how important it is to think about things if you're thinking from a non-centralized point of view. You have to deal with these kinds of things. But it's not surprising. If you're working in a decentralized space, if the person isn't around who did it, well, and they have to share with somebody else, and if they went away or they fell asleep or whatever, you have to wake them up or you have to do something like that. And that is part of how we have to be thinking. So.
Thank you. That is amazing. Eric, would you please also explain what is a commit history? So,
can I ask a quick question first?
Please, Steve. Please.
Yeah, I just want to see if I have the right mental model of the structure here. So each node is a DHT, but there's another DHT. Like when you show all nodes, right? Is that a separate DHT that basically has references to the other DHTs, basically?
Exactly. And the trick that it's doing is that this DHT, this user interface, is actually when it sees that there is a DHT with an actual DNA hash, and you try to click on it, it actually calls install for that hash. And so that it gets installed with the exact same one. And each one of these that's being installed is being installed with its own UID that is recorded in this DHT, so that when you install it, you can install one with the exact same UID, but it's doing that behind the scenes.
Right.
Yeah,
so
and
now
now
directory.
Sorry. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, go Steve.
Yeah, no, this is a directory. So it just has the name and the title and so forth.
And you saw all of those apps called sin dash something. That's the ones that they are. In the end, it shouldn't be that way, right? We should be using cloning to do this, but cloning is not yet fully implemented in Holochain side. It's in the roadmap, but it's not there.
Okay, great, thanks.
Hadai, you asked about commits. This is just the strategy in Sin for how to, when you create a session, one of the things that you can do is you can create commits at any point in time. A session is just a series of changes, a bunch of deltas. And at some point in time, you can create a commit that changes those. It's up to you as the developer of a Sin application when you want to create the commits, how many changes you want to batch. And I think, Guillaume, the way you did it here is that when you close the session, you create one commit for that session. And so that's why you can see that if different people create sessions starting from a different commit, you can visualize what the commit tree is. And it's just like Git in some ways, but Git for text rather than Git for code. And there's no merge. There's no, we don't have any of that stuff built into that, because in the standard case, it's actually rather difficult to do that, right? But we can get to that later on.
That is great. Thank you. Yeah, it was a good answer to my question. If you are not a developer or you don't know how the naming in the Holochain ecosystem, or you would like to just see this video to see the launcher, just ignore the technical part, DHT cloning, blah, blah, blah. Just go forward. Do not listen to this word, which is really highly, deeply technical. But if you hear the DHT, exactly when you put your HIA to join us, DHT, it means the network you and your friend and your community would like to be inside. And when you put in the UUID, HIA, it means the hash is going to be changed, no technical, it's going to be one specific network is going to be generated, and the people inside that DHT is gonna be there. That's it. It's enough. So if you are not technical, just go forward. That's it. So what else? Is there any other application? Is there any other question?
I saw something pop up when I was about to install the other thing. Somebody put up something called Place, and I don't know what that's about, but that just showed up in the app library.
Yeah, I just saw that. Managed to install it, but it's erroring out on load. So I'm not sure how far we'll get with that.
Isn't that Harlan about the social experiment?
I have no idea, but I'm really excited.
So can anyone publish to the app library that shows up in the launcher?
Yeah, we can do a quick demo on how to do that, if any of you would want.
Yeah, let's do it.
Okay, cool. First I was trying to,
Somebody please share your screen. Are you installing Place? Guillaume, would you please share your screen?
I am, but it seems like this is Place open. It seems there is a bug actually.
Yes, exactly. I'm facing the same bug. Anyway, maybe it was a testing, but it was fantastic that you show if you can open your hApp library, that the people can see where we saw. Yes, we came here, and right now we saw somebody just uploaded a new hApp here. Just we try to install, and right now it's not working because of the bug you saw. So if you are a hApp developer, or your hApp or your test is finished, please feel free to upload your hApp, then let us play with you, that we can see how the things are working. If you are a developer, warm welcome.
Yeah, we'll debug it live for you.
Cool. So should we do a bit on how to publish an application in the DevHapp?
If there is no
Yes.
question, it would be fantastic. Yes. Is there any question, guys, so far? Anything? No, please, Guillaume, please.
Okay, so the application that comes pre-installed with the launcher is the DevHapp, right? And this is the one that you need to open if you want to publish something in the hApp library. If you are not a developer, I wouldn't recommend, you can open it if you are curious, but this is all very highly technical. This is the developer's publisher portal, basically, at this point. So if you don't know the concepts of hApps or DNAs or DOMs, you won't necessarily understand what's going on here. So here is the list of all applications that have been published as of now. You may be wondering why this list is much longer than the hApp library one. And this is because the only things that are shown in the hApp library are applications which contain a release that's compatible with this version of the launcher, right? So for example, Notebooks is an application. If we go to more info, we can see all the releases, right? This is 001 for Notebooks, but I could create a new release. And more importantly, this release is compatible with version 130. And it just happens that the launcher is compatible with HDK 130. So it shows up in the hApp library, right? So you need to be a bit careful when publishing your applications, because you need to satisfy the requirements that the launcher has. in order for the launcher to install the application, right? It doesn't make a lot of sense for the launcher to show applications that really won't work for the users at the end of the day, right? So that was a bit of context. Let's try to go through a release and see if we can get to it. So let's say that I want to publish a new version of notebooks, right? Or if you don't have an application created, you can just add hApp and add title, subtitle, description, no tags required, hit save, right? I already did that for notebooks, so I can just go to notebooks, more info. And now let's say that I have compiled a .webhap, right? This is what we have normally in the Holochain environments. And I want to publish that .webhap into the hApp library. Any questions up until now? Okay, we should be good. So now comes the tricky part. Okay, this is a bit tricky as of now. What we do is we do upload bundle. And now drag and drop app bundle here. Careful, this is the .hap, not the .webhap. If you drag a .webhap here, it won't work. So I'm going to go to projects and Linear Labs, and then do notebooks, and then work there, right? So not the webhap, the hApp. So I'm uploading that.
When use DevHapp, what is the reason of DevHapp? If you can also tell.
Right. A hApp is a Holochain application. So it's the compiled application for Holochain. A .webhap is the hApp and a UI bundled together. Right? In the future, the DevHapp should really handle .webhapps as well, to create all the package thing, but it doesn't right now. So the UX for the DevHapp is a bit weird. So I selected the hApp bundle, and then this is a really important step, which is choose the HDK version for your .hap. If you misspell this, it won't show up in the hApp library because it has to match exactly the Holochain versions that the launcher is supporting, right? So more reliable way to do this is to choose an SDK version that has already been published, right? So I think this was compiled for 130, yes? Okay, so compile with 130, and now you should create all the DNAs and zones here. I already did it, so it isn't asking me to, but you should do quick create, everything here, you should do quick create. And it's going to take a while because this is the upload step of the files.
It means for any DNA that is already inside the hApp, the people are going to see the one line with the create, they need to click on it and create DNA. That's
yeah,
right?
Exactly. Actually, I think I can simulate it. Wait, it could be better for me to show this. So I'm going to do it with which is the project I'm working on right now, right? This is not ready yet, but just to show. So I upload hApp, and I have to choose the HDK version. And now you see all of these zooms and DNAs were not published yet on the DevHapp, so we have to quick create them, right? So like this, quick create, and then it's published. It's uploaded, sorry. And it takes a bit because this is the upload step, okay? And you do this quick create with all of them.
If we wouldn't click on one or two of them, the hApp is not gonna be working properly, or we cannot install it?
You can't even save. You can't even save here, so you won't be able to do the release actually.
So probably at user experience optimization would be just to not have any quick create buttons and just have that happen for you, right?
Yeah, yeah. That's one possibility.
Good. Again, one question here. If I implemented the DNA as profile for another app, for this one, also I need to create the DNA, or can different application use the same DNA?
Cool.
Just imagine we have a lobby profile. Can we, where blah, 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 just use the same profile that all other apps see the same data?
Yeah, they can absolutely do that. And to show it, I'm going to go to next step, actually. So bear with me just a second, and I will show you how to do that.
I bear with you for minutes.
Only minutes? I thought weeks. Okay.
Weeks, years.
Okay, so imagine I have done all this quick create and I have saved. Okay, now all the DNAs are uploaded, right? This is the important step here. Now I go back and I do create new release. Before we did upload bundle. Now we are saying create new release. And now you can search for DNAs. Now you're saying, okay, for this release, this hub bundle is going to contain this, and that DNA. Right? And this is the step in which you could include DNAs that have been published for other applications, for example, Hidayat. So we were doing notebooks. So I'm going to add scene, which is one of the DNAs for notebooks. Notebooks is the other one. And I'm going to, I have to choose the SDK version. So yes, SDK 130. This release is going to be 002. And now we are going to say nothing changed. And we are going to drag and drop the UI. So projects, line enroll labs, notebooks, UI, this .zip, and this has to be a .zip in which it has a root with an index .html, right? So you upload this .zip, and then you save. And now I'm hesitant. Let's do it. Yeah, let's do it. It's okay. Okay. If I save, now I have this 002, right? And now if I go here, we see 002 in notebooks already. Right? If I unpublish because I don't like it, now we see 001 again. Okay, this was the complicated part. Any questions here?
Let's see. So when you're selecting from the list of DNAs, and for that matter, when you're selecting from a list of installed hApps, it seems like right now we only have one hApp with each name, but there's no trust networks involved. And so a bad actor could create a hApp, another hApp called Notebooks. It could even be a fork of Notebooks that tries to do something malicious. And same with a DNA like SYN. Does that sound right?
That's spot on, yes.
And I guess my follow-up question is, because we are running a WASM hApp, is that a secure sandbox? Can it do anything malicious with my machine?
It can't do anything malicious in your machine because the only thing that will happen is that the conductor will install it. And then the only operations that application can do are the Holochain operations we all know, like create entry, get, things like that. It won't have access to anything in the underlying operating system at all.
Do you know if there are plans for trust networks in the DevHapp?
I know that the intention is to have some kind of review process and authorization, I think. I'm not sure how that will work, but there are plans absolutely to have a review process and then going through some hoops to actually get the applications published to the App Store, so that it's not like there is no filter and you can publish anything and so on. I should note that even if those are the plans for the App Store, DevHapp, and so on, anyone could create their own version, their own fork of the App Store and put whatever content they want there. The important thing here is that if you follow like the happy path, you get a properly filtered set of applications, right? But I think it's still very open and hasn't, like, final decisions haven't been made in this regard. So maybe it's something that we can talk about in the community. How do we want this to be structured? And even if we need some spaces, like Eric was working in how, right? And how is this alignment Holochain application in which we talk about standards, not only technical standards, but also human standards. So I imagine a standard being there for how to publish into the App Store, right? And things like that. Maybe there is a community review, maybe what should be there. Maybe now is the time to start thinking about these things as a community. I don't know.
Sure, could be a really nice use case for Trust Graph. We'd be happy to help.
Yeah.
So I think we almost running the meeting for 1 hour and we covered a lot. That is really, really amazing. Thank you again. And anybody else that had effort to see this beautiful outcome of Launcher. So that's really amazing. And I'm sure the people watching the video see the beauty inside, see the positive point inside, peer-to-peer application, not finance, not just transaction, peer-to-peer applications for your community. So we have been waiting for it for a while. So personally, I'm really happy and it was fantastic. So we can stay here longer, but to have not really long video, I would suggest to wrap up the video and then we can continue our informal conversation. If there is anything else, please mention. Otherwise, we can say bye-bye to viewers, actually.
Just really nice work. Impressive milestone.
Yes. Thank you. Thank you for watching. And thank you for our lovely friends from the community that joined and showed up today. So see you next time. Take care and waiting for you in the community.